Welcome to our channel. We've got some critical updates for you today about the recent development in Israel. The Israeli military has communicated plans to evacuate the city of Kiryas Mona in the country's northern region on October 20th, following some hostile encounters with Hezbollah militants along the border. The Northern Command of Israel has conveyed this information to the city's local authorities, tourism department, and the defense ministry, who will oversee the implementation of the evacuation process. Recent video footage has shown Hezbollah fighters sharpening their skills with sniper rifles, and their activity in the mountainous areas demonstrates a noteworthy display of their military prowess. An independent analyst focusing on the Gulf region has revealed that Hezbollah has a force of 20,000 capable fighters, who can be rapidly increased by mobilizing 30,000 part-time members and other support forces. The group's stronghold in southern Lebanon is thought to be well fortified, with a complex network of underground bunkers, tunnels, and storage facilities. This has increased tension along border with Lebanon. The recent conflicts have unfortunately led to casualties, and Israel has retaliated with artillery and airstrikes. This has resulted in the evacuation of several villages in the southern border. Hezbollah's role in future conflicts could further complicate the situation, potentially leading to a regional conflict involving Syria, Iran, the United States, and other key players. While some believe that Hezbollah is hesitant to risk a full-blown confrontation, the large U.S. Navy presence in the eastern Mediterranean serves as a deterrent against larger-scale attacks. This leaves us with the question of what will happen if Israel decides to strike Gaza, another volatile region in the area. Hezbollah's spokesperson has classified their attacks as a warning to Israel, while senior officials have made it clear that they won't remain passive. Iran's foreign minister has also voiced concerns about the potential for conflict across multiple fronts. So, let's delve deeper into this situation and try to understand its implications. In other news, Axios stated on October 19th that a huge batch of 155 artillery shells, initially purposed for Ukraine, is now going to be directed to Israel from the United States. The Israeli government has reportedly communicated to the Pentagon about their requirement of these shells in preparation for a possible ground strike in Gaza. This move was acknowledged during a conversation between President Biden and Prime Minister Netanyahu in Tel Aviv, where the U.S. pledged an impressive military aid package. The ongoing rivalry between Israel and Hamas seems to be intensifying, making this a pivotal juncture for Ukraine. The U.S., on the other hand, appears to be prioritizing the provision of armaments to Israel over its European ally. During a trip to the NATO headquarters in Brussels, the Ukrainian President Zelensky expressed a dire need for support, focusing on the crucial requirement of long-range missiles or artillery. The primary challenge now is the acquisition of these resources. According to U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, the U.S. is well equipped to offer assistance in both foreign conflicts. However, the funds set aside by the U.S. Congress for Ukraine are dwindling. As an attempt to get the Republican Party's endorsement for a $60 billion military and economic aid package for Ukraine, the President is trying to associate it with a $10 billion aid package for Israel. Lately, Israel has been primarily relying on airstrikes and tank intrusions for its encounters with Hamas, rather than artillery shells. Regardless, the Israeli military is accumulating along the Gaza border, getting ready for a ground operation. Israel's defense minister, Yoav Gallant, stated on October 19th that this ground offense will kick off shortly. Additionally, plans of the U.S. government to transport back 2 Iron Dome missile defense systems to Israel have surfaced. These systems were previously sold by Israel to the U.S. for deployment on Wake Island in the Pacific. On receiving Israel's urgent request, President Biden has assured a speedy dispatch of ammunition, particularly interceptor missiles for the Iron Dome system. As a response to the unstable security setting in the Middle East, the U.S. is planning to double its military presence in the region, with approximately 2,000 military personnel being put on high alert. However, the U.S. Department of Defense has confirmed that no decisions about troop deployments have been taken yet. Deputy Press Secretary Sabrina Singh added that the USS Ronald Reagan, the U.S. Navy's aircraft carrier strike group, is nearing the completion of its 6-month deployment in the European theater, which might be extended. Moving forward, let's delve into the tactical maneuvers employed by the Ukrainian military in the town of Poa. The Ukrainian forces have managed to secure a significant position within this area, formerly under Russian control, through a persistent campaign of artillery and drone strikes. 2 Marine infantry divisions have infiltrated the mainland, specifically the towns of Poa and Panka. They've been amassing their forces, establishing a solid presence. However, the stability of this presence remains uncertain, as a battlefield video revealed Russian artillery targeting these forces near a railway bridge over the Dnieper River. In response, Ukrainian units seem to be retreating from the hot zone, seeking safer positions near the bridge. Nonetheless, the situation in the area remains stagnant, as both Russian and Ukrainian forces persist in artillery and drone attacks. Despite these odds, the Ukrainian forces have not given up. They made a daring move on October 18th, where Marines endeavored to cross the Dnieper River amidst an intense artillery strike against Russian positions. Yet, Russian drones thwarted this attempt, destroying the Ukrainian boats. Despite the destruction of major land routes, the Ukrainian military persists, with their next move possibly being amphibious attacks across the Dnieper River. As per RAN Consulting, a military consultancy firm, this operation, while risky, could provide strategic advantages. If successful, it could pave the way for Ukraine to advance closer to the Crimean Peninsula, thereby breaching Russia's defensive barricades. Next on the agenda, we delve into Ukraine's strategies and maneuvers in the JapOnia and Donetsk territories. According to JapiA and the Telegraph, it seems Ukraine might resurface strategies previously deployed in the eastern sectors of Ukraine. Our colleagues from the West are of the view that Ukraine's goal is to make a beeline for the Black Sea shores, to breach the Russian defense perimeter, and carve a new pathway towards Qum. Recently, Ukraine has been the recipient of the anti-tank guided missile system ATGM Attack-MS, a gift from the United States. Armed with this potent system, the Ukrainian military has launched successful assaults on Russian helicopters stationed in eastern Ukraine. Russian pundits propose that the introduction of the Attack-MS system to the battleground implies that Ukraine could likely initiate attacks in the Dnieper River precinct, zeroing in on Russian support bases at the rear. Key Telegram channels relayed data about the augmentation of territories under the control of Ukraine's armed forces along the Dnieper River, signaling a possible strategic blueprint for future maneuvers. A novel feature in this conflict is the emergence of ATGMs, which have been employed by Ukraine to bombard Russian-held airports in locations such as Bans and Lugansk. In the subsequent phase, Ukraine might aim to forge ahead towards the Nghi Binh district, penetrating the southern regions and launching extensive UAV strikes. Despite these developments, RAN Consulting, a consulting firm, suggests that Russia still holds the upper hand. They argue that examining the ratio of deployed units on both fronts, Ukraine seems to be at a disadvantage in terms of forces for sudden offensive operations. For Ukraine to emerge victorious, there would need to be a remarkable level of organization and a substantial artillery use to assert and enlarge their footprint near the Dnieper River. Absent additional troop mobilization, Ukraine could encounter hurdles in accomplishing their goals. Thanks for tuning in. It means a lot to us that you took the time to watch our video. We hope you found it enjoyable. Don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe to stay updated with more of our content. Your ongoing support is deeply appreciated. Once again, thank you.